following program are those of the host and guests, and not necessarily those of the staff or management of KLAV.
You're making a run, Archie. Rolling up the stake and going to Vegas.
Welcome to the #1 poker radio show in the world. This is the Mark Hoke Show. The Mark Hoke Show. 1 full hour of poker news, entertainment, and lots of Sin City surprises. The phone lines are open at 702-731-1230. That's 702-731-1230.
Okay, we can swing over it. Yeah, go ahead and swing it. Yeah, swing it back this way.
Toll-free. 1-866-820-5528. That's 1-866-820-KLAV. Now, let's bring on the host. Here is Mark Hoke.
All right, everybody, how we doing? And we're kind of simulcasting this thing, too. We got it up on markhokeshow.com. It is the Mark Hoke Show. I'm Mark Hoke. Nate Dowland, I hear, is somewhere flying around in the Skype universe. Nate, what's up?
What's going on?
Hey.
I'm here in Vegas.
All right, and Joe Payne is here with me in the Bahamas. Of course, we are live at the PokerStars Caribbean Adventure.
Otherwise known as the PCA.
Joe likes to make sure we got that PCA
We
thing.
like to get that in from the Atlantis Hotel and Casino.
You bet. Brought to you by PokerStars.com. And boy, I'll tell you what.
We have an unbelievable show lined up for today. We're going out with a bang.
Oh, Scott and Rebecca came through today.
They did.
George Danders is supposed to be swinging down here in a little bit, and Daniel Negreanu, Kid Poker, is going to be joining us on the show. We are very excited to have him here. So I don't want to waste too much time, but we do have some news.
Well, let's get to the news
so
we can
let's
get to our guests.
So let's do the read.
Okay.
Scanning the poker tables from around the world. This is the read, brought to you by the Nevada Poker League. Play poker for free and win cash at locations all across Las Vegas. Visit NevadaPokerLeague.com today.
All right, so we have a lot of news out of the PCA, and then, of course, a really big story broke today in the poker world.
And I'm sure you're going to tell us about it.
We are going to, and I'm going to hit that one first because this is quite the tale here. Are you ready for this?
Go ahead, shoot. I'm ready.
We were having a little fun with Bluff Magazine, and now guess what?
I don't know.
They have now announced that they will be going digital only.
Wow, no more print, huh?
February issue will be the last printed issue of Bluff Magazine.
Wow.
A shocker there, but apparently that was
sign of the times.
Yeah, it was in the works for a while. Their ownership group, Churchill Downs, said that they wanted to, try to trim it up and get rid of the print side of it. So they're going to be all digital. So don't be looking for all those Bluff magazines at the World Series this year.
It's an environmental move also. I mean, the less paper that's printed, the more trees that are saved. And nowadays, everyone is gathering their information via the internet anyway. I mean, when's the last time you ran to your mailbox to get your magazine subscription?
Yeah, it's been a while. It's been a while.
Yeah.
So, and I think that's a good move. I was talking to them about it today, and I think it's a good move for them. They're everything's in the digital age now. So Bluff Magazine is now Bluff.com.
Bluff.com only. Yeah. I know All In Magazine would also in digital, but they also print too. So.
Yeah, the other ones still print, but honestly, I think they may.
You think that's the sign of the times?
I think they may be ahead of the group on that. So there's some interesting news there. We do have a lot of winners down here at PCA. Of course, we can't mention them all, but we want to get a few of them in here. As we have, of course, the PCA's high roller champion, the $100,000 winner, Steve O'Dwyer, putting that up, picks up $1.8 million. Another high roller win for him. LAPT Bahamas event that I played, Josh K takes that one down, wins about $370 on that. The main event is still playing right now, and you can watch that on EPT Live. Just go to PokerStarsCaribbeanAdventure.com and click on the TV link, and that'll take you right to it. So make sure you check that out. And let's see what else we have. Paul Volpe wins event number 14, $2,200 no-limit hold'em. So the World Series poker bracelet winner scores again.
Continues his winning ways.
Yep, Paul G's 81 online. Careful when they come back. He's going to take all your money. Justin Bonomo wins event number 15. That's a $5,300 pot limit 8-handed tournament. So Bonomo a winner. Event 26, $1,100 PLO Dealer's Choice event goes to Mark Herm. Dipthrong does it again. All he does is win, 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 win.
There you go. There's my my argument that poker is a game of skill.
Very impressive. And event 31, $5,300 No Limit Hold'em Turbo 8-handed. Jonathan Duhamel, the former world champion, is your winner on that one.
He was at the party last night.
Yeah.
With his trophy.
A lot of us were at the party last night.
He was also at the after party too.
Yeah, I was unconscious, so I passed on the after party.
Yeah.
But yeah, so
he was on the dance floor with his trophy.
Yes.
Pretty sweet.
So a lot going on down here at the PCA. Of course, the 25K High Roller is wrapping up, as is the main event. So keep your eyes on that as in a couple side events, as this is the last day, and then we're coming home.
Yep, this is the last show. We're on our way home. It's kind of sad, but you know what? Good things always have to come to an end.
Yep, you betcha. So Nate Dowland, Nate, we missed you down here, brother.
Yeah, I bet you guys really miss me. I just got done watching that video of Sissy going down that.
Oh, you saw that?
Oh, there you go. Well, we have two guests on the show today.
Two good guests.
Two very good guests. We want to get our first one in here
All right.
on the K-List. You got to talk to him a little bit here for a couple of minutes.
The other day he stopped
The other
by.
day, and you know it's hard to believe he's ranked number 2 guest on the show. But if you want to cue George over here, we can get George Danzer.
I will get George
over here on the show.
Stand by.
Man, we're having a great time. By the way, the Mark Hoke Show is brought to you by, powered by BlueRail.net, brought to you by Poker Night in America, and the Nevada Poker League, PokerShop.com, the new book Poker Tilt by Dutch Boyd, RogueWire.com, Blind Squirrel Apparel, Zen Poker Mentoring, our new sponsor, ABC Chinese Poker, the PokerStars Caribbean Adventure, and the upcoming WPT Lucky Hearts Poker Open at Seminole Hard Rock. And we have the World Series of Poker defending champion player of the year. Picked up a few bracelets this year. George Danzer on the show on KLAV. George, how are you?
Yeah, hello. Thanks for having me. Yeah, I'm good now that the PCA is over.
That doesn't sound good.
Nah, it wasn't the best start to the year, but as I had a good year 2014, I'm still relaxed and looking forward to the rest of the tournaments this year.
What makes the PCA so special? Of course, you are a PokerStars Pro, so you're affiliated with this thing. No question, you're coming down. Why should people come to the PCA? What makes it stand out?
I think just the atmosphere here is nice because you most of the times have good weather. You have good access to pools, beaches, and a couple of places where you can get something to eat. So, yeah, everything around is very good.
Fatima DeMello here too, hanging around.
Yeah, I've had
See, this is the fun of these shows. We just never know who's going to show up. It's a blast.
Yeah, and that's a part of the PCA experience too, because you meet all the pros around the resort all the time. So it's not only at the tables, but you get the chance to just talk to them and maybe get a couple of good hints or a photo with your favorite pro. So yeah, I enjoy being here.
What is the most fun part about this series, though? Because, we all come down, you play your poker, you have a good time, but, there's all sorts of great activities. What's the best thing that you like to do down here at the PCA?
When I have the time, I just like to sleep. I mean, it's good everywhere, but here somehow just to relax a couple of hours, go to sleep, and then I wake up. And yeah, I really like breakfast, so there have a couple of breakfast buffets that I like to go, like the Mosaic. So I just go there with a couple of friends, and then I go to the gym and the basketball court because it's really accessible. You have a nice pool where you can swim, then you have the gym on the side, and you have the basketball court. And then we just meet up with Americans and a couple of Germans that like to play basketball, and then we have some fun off the tables but on the court.
Very nice. Now, I do have to ask you this. Now, you do have a distinctive hairstyle. Okay. Does that hair hold up when you do the Leap of Faith water slide? Does it hold up, or do you have to restyle when it's all over?
I have not tried it with that hairstyle yet. I did the Leap of Faith, but it's 3 years back, so I had a different hairstyle back then. I have to try it out, but I guess it's not going to hold up. The Leap of Faith is quite fast, so and it gets wet, so that doesn't help either.
Yeah, I think you got a chance though. I think you got a chance with that.
I put a lot of glue. I tried to.
Well, of course, the play down here too. I mean, we're joking around about how much fun it is down here, but the level of play. I think one thing that struck me so much being down here for the first time was that you just walk in the room, and unlike the World Series where there's a lot of new players in there, people you can pick off, there's almost nowhere to hide in these tournaments. I mean, the talent level and the concentration of it is incredible.
Yeah, it's quite difficult tournaments. There is a lot of satellites though, so you get the odd qualifier at the table, which is nice, and for the qualifiers it's nice too.
Yeah.
So it's a good situation here. Only, for example, the 25K tournament that really sucked. I got a table I didn't enjoy there.
Oh yeah,
that happens a lot too.
Who'd you have?
I have the Kilian Kramer, a German player that's really strong, and then Rosita and Jonathan Little I had at the table, and I think all the players were better than me.
Oh, wow!
that was a tough table, and I thought that the field looked quite nice, but my table sure didn't.
So, what are your goals for the rest of for the 2015? Because I mean, this is going to be last year is going to be a hard year to top with everything that you did. But what do you want to accomplish here in this upcoming year?
I'm going to try to have a nice World Series again, because after the very big World Series, I don't want to have one of those 30 tournaments, 0 cashes. Nice that you played too, World Series, but I want to go deep one or twice, maybe get another bracelet, but that's the goal every year. And then I want to try to get to win one of the other leaderboards, the Scoop or the W Coupe, or maybe even on the EPT to get some points together on the EPT tournaments, and maybe have a chance on the EPT player on the year. That would be nice, but that's really hard to do too.
How do you balance all that out? Because unfortunately for us in America, we don't get to play online, so we miss those opportunities, and everybody's got to leave the country to do it. But you have opportunities to play in America. You're playing in the EPT. You've got, you're online. What kind of balance do you find yourself playing when you make a schedule out for a couple of months to find the best way to win?
I just do whatever I feel like doing. So sometimes I decide, okay, I'm going to Australia and play the tournament there. And sometimes I decide, nah, I'm just fine here in Salzburg in front of my PC. I don't have to put up the nice clothes, or don't even have to do my hair. I just can play the way I want to, and it's nice too. But then after maybe a month or two at home, I really miss the tour, and I want to go out again and play some live tournaments, and then I do it. So it's just however I feel. And there is a couple of stops that you just have to go, and there is a couple of online tournaments that you just have to play, like the Scoop and the W Coupe. So yeah, no fixed plans. It's just a few.
Well, I'll tell you what, one fixed plan I know will be the World Series. We cannot wait to see you come back there again and see if you can defend this championship. That would be a feat and a half if you could pull it off. Yeah,
that would be too nice.
I just don't want any fights with Brandon Shaq Harris. You guys went back and forth so many times. And actually it was kind of funny when I was looking back on how everything went down between you and Brandon. You guys actually were heads up for a bracelet.
Yes.
And if that flipped, he I'm sure he probably wins Player of the Year. So I mean, early implications there.
Yeah, it would have just started completely different if he gets that one, because he wins the PLO too. So yeah, it would have been different, and maybe not even been that close of a fight. But I hope he does well again next year. So I would be happy to take second if he wins next year.
Well, we would love to see that duel again. And George, I got to tell you, one of the class guys in poker. It's always a pleasure to get to talk to you. I want to thank you for stopping by here on the Mark Hoke Show on KLAV.
George, before you leave, I do have one question.
Oh, Joe's got him.
Yeah, you were having such a great run at the World Series. Is there any time in particular when you said to yourself, "Oh my God, I am running so good. I just cannot believe that," or were you just so positive that it just continued?
There was a couple of moments where I thought this is too good to believe. When I won the second bracelet, I thought, no, that's not possible. I just won one. Am I dreaming or what's happening here? And then in Australia, when I won the third one, I was so short stacked. I only had the fifth of the next guy in chips. So I was really out of. I had to double up 2 times in a row just to be in the tournament again, and I did that, and I thought, is that really happening again? And then I won it. So yeah, there were a couple of moments where I thought I was dreaming.
An unbelievable run, and we were both rooting for you and Brandon because it was a great battle, and you guys went right down to the end.
Thanks.
Well done, my man. Well done.
Yep, and like I said, hopefully we'll see that battle again next year. George, thanks for coming over. I appreciate it.
Yeah, pleasure to be here.
All right, there you go. George Danzer, everybody, the reigning, defending World Series of Poker Player of the Year. We're going to get our commercial break in, and Daniel Negreanu is, after getting put through the ringer with some dancing, is going to be on the show. So let's take our commercial break, and we'll be right back with Kid Poker, Daniel Negreanu, right after this.
PokerShop.com is your one-stop shop for all your poker and game room needs. PokerShop.com has you covered with an incredible variety of poker chips and supplies, top-quality playing cards, plus gaming tables and room accessories, just like you'd find in your favorite casino. And if you're looking to spruce up your man cave, we offer a wide selection of decor options, from lighting to mirrors, and portable bars to bump stools, to make your game room the one all your friends and family will be talking about. So for everything you need to make your game night a great night, go to www.PokerShop.com and receive 10% off your purchase with the code HOKE, H-O-K-E. You supply your friends. We supply everything else. Live it. Love it. PokerShop.com.
One man, his lucky shirt, an unforgettable night, and a winning streak that never seemed to end. That's how Blind Squirrel began, and we haven't looked back since. We make the clothes that we want to wear for the places where we want to look and feel our best. The games, the speakeasy, and the casino floor. Blind Squirrel's small batch, high-quality gear is for people too busy grabbing life by the nuts to bother with crappy ill-fitting clothing. Because like you, we prefer our nights long, our drinks strong, and our lucky shirts to be our most comfortable. So look good, be lucky, and visit BlindSquirrelApparel.com for your new favorite shirt. As an added bonus, you'll receive 20% off your purchase with the promo code HOKE, H-O-K-E. You can also pick up Blind Squirrel Apparel at the Borgata in Atlantic City, and in Las Vegas at all Missoula stores at Mandalay Bay, Monte Carlo, The Mirage, and MGM Grand. Look good and be lucky with Blind Squirrel Apparel.
I'm Dutch Boyd, 2-time WSOP bracelet winner, and I want to share my story with you. 12 years as a pro has taught me a lot.
Were you trying to talk to me? Hello, hello. Hello, hello. Okay, I'm going to put you back on hold.
Downs that poker has to offer. All the manic highs and help with every bad beat and lucky draw. So go to www.pokertilt.com to read more, or just go buy the new book on Amazon or Kindle right now. PokerTilt.com. I guarantee you'll enjoy the ride.
The poker action never stops at Seminole Hard Rock Hotel and Casino. We have millions of reasons for you to be a part of our annual Seminole Hard Rock Lucky Hearts Poker Open, January 22nd to February 11th, 2015. Time to go all in. Opening event starts January 22nd with a $1 million guaranteed prize pool. Play in any of the events leading up to the championship at the premier poker destination. The Seminole Hard Rock Lucky Hearts Poker Open Championship begins February 5th through 11th with a guaranteed prize pool of $3 million. The final table of the championship will be live streamed by World Poker Tour and is a main event tour stop. Visit shrpo.com or the Poker Room for registration and details. Only at the Seminole Hard Rock Hotel and Casino Hollywood. Must be 21 to play slots and table games and at least 18 to play live poker. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, please call 1-888-INVEST.
There's nothing better than sitting down to play poker with good friends and cutting loose. And that's what you're going to find when you tune in to Poker Night in America. Poker Night in America is revolutionizing televised poker in a big way, with all the action you love and the hilarious fun you've been missing. Come take a seat at the table with all your favorite players, old and new, with Poker Night in America. Mondays, 10 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Pacific, on CBS Sports Network. And don't forget to visit the show online at PokerNight.com. So pull up a chair and join us Mondays on Poker Night in America.
Want more of The Mark Hoke Show? Then follow us on Twitter at Mark Hoke Show and like our Facebook page at The Mark Hoke Show for show news and outstanding poker content from around the world. Plus, enjoy the show anytime by subscribing to our podcast on iTunes or at markhokeshow.podbean.com. We're even on your mobile phone at markhokeshow.podbean.com/mobile. Thanks for listening and being a part of The Mark Hoke Show.
Now, let's return to The Mark Hoke Show. The Mark Hoke Show. Here again, your host, Mark Hoke.
Oh, yeah, that's me. Believe it or not, they have not thrown me off the air yet. They're trying. Somebody is, anyway. But we're having a great time down here at the Bahamas. We are at the PokerStars Caribbean Adventure, courtesy of PokerStars.com. I want to thank them for having us down here. Nate, are you ready back there in the studio?
I am ready.
Yeah, well, actually, that's right. You're on Skype, so you might not be in the studio. But we have Kid Poker here, Daniel Negreanu, joining us for the first time on our KLAV show. Daniel, thank you for being here. I appreciate it.
No worries. They told me I had to.
Oh.
No, I'm kidding.
That's all right. Well, Daniel, first, let's get an overview of your series. You made so many deep runs in this PCA. It was unbelievable. Take us through this series for you.
It was a good series. I came 94th in the main event. Definitely had a shot there. You know, that was day 3, I guess it was. It was a really rough one for me. Ran pretty unlucky. But I had one key hand against Pertouche that I should have got away from. I didn't. And then, of course, I played the 25K high roller. And last year in that event, I finished 14th and lost with kings to aces. This year, I also finished 14th against, I got High-Millered.
I heard about that.
Yeah.
Dan was telling me about that.
So Dan High-Miller's just that kind of guy, right? Where, like, he's the guy that clips his nails at the table. He's kind of like that older, annoying nerd, right? Who's, like, lovable, but, like, just gets under your skin and you kind of want to strangle him. And every time I play with him, when he sits down, I'm like, oh, okay. I remind myself, don't do anything stupid. He's a wild man. He will blow up. He did blow up quite epically and got there against me. And I was like, what the... You know, like, why does he always do that? So instantly went to Twitter, got it all out of my system, you know, got the whole victim story out. And once that was over, you know, I'm over it. But it was a pretty frustrating way to go out.
Yeah, and, you know, aside from the poker, one thing that amazes me is when you're at a place like this, and obviously you have so many obligations, you know, as you were saying, you know, you had to be here, sort of. You have so many things happening with the fans talking to you, you know, the seminar that you did and all the other obligations with PokerStars. How do you stay focused on poker when you have to do all this other stuff?
Well, I've been doing this for a long time. So, you know, now I plan ahead. The people that I work with at PokerStars who organize the interviews and stuff, they understand the scheduling needs that I have. So while I'm playing and I'm in poker mode, I ask them not to schedule early mornings for me, to interrupt, you know, not to overload my schedule while in a tournament. So today is the day that is the last day here, so I'm going to basically knock it all out here. So I'm separating it for the most part. Having said that, it's been so many years that I've been doing both that I've just learned how to, you know, split my mind in two, in a sense, where, okay, there's poker play and then there's poker promotion, if you will.
And, of course, you did a great job with the Breakfast of the Pros. And I want to touch on a lot of the stuff that you said in there because, you know, we can talk about cards all day long, but I think there's a much more important picture in terms of what happens in poker players' lives, how they succeed, and how you reach the success levels of success that you do. You know, first I want to talk about goal setting. And you said some very interesting things about how you set your goals. And I thought it'd be interesting to have you reiterate that a little bit for everybody if they didn't get to hear that.
Goal setting is very important, and I have one right now. No, yeah, it's like, hola, ¿cómo estás? Hola. Wow. Oh, my goodness. Yeah, you had a question. I did. It was about goal setting. Yeah, what was it? I got totally sidetracked.
There was a question. Can we just get her on the show? Anyway, no. But just how you go about setting your goals.
Right. Okay. So each year, right in late December, I look at the year that I had. I look back at the goals I set previously, see how I did, and then I'll adjust when necessary. So I typically like to set 10 goals that are just poker related. I do this for my life in other areas, whether it's fitness, whether it's making a difference in the community, whether it's philanthropical. So I set these 10 goals, and I base them typically off the year before a little bit. So, for example, moving up the cash list, right? If I'm 5th, I'm like, okay, what's reasonable here? If I cash 10 times, I could get up to 3rd. So I'll make goals adjusted based on the previous year. And I think, and I mentioned this in the talk, is that I like to set my goals extremely lofty, right? So I have one on there that says win 3 World Series bracelets. So everyone laughs at me like, oh, you're not going to win 3. You know how hard that is? I'm like, yeah, I know how hard it is, right? But if I don't set out to achieve it, it's going to be more, I like to just throw that out there. If I ended up only winning 2 or 1 or even none, but did my best and put in a good effort, I'm satisfied with that. So the key and the trick to goal setting in situations like that is not being attached to the results, but attached to the journey and making sure you're doing all the right things to get there.
Yeah, and and that really struck me because I haven't been in education for a long time. A lot of people say make sure your goals are realistic and it's something that you can achieve. And to hear you come up with a counter argument to that, I thought was fascinating.
Realistic is a word that is like the devil for opportunists, like for all the people that have made a huge difference in the world, right? If they lived by the law of realism, they wouldn't reach for those stars and achieve what they have. So I think the whole concept of being realistic is a mistake that holds people back, right? So one example I gave, and that's, say, for example, 2 women, both 20 pounds overweight. January 1st, they say, okay, I'm setting a goal to lose weight. Lady A says, her name is Mary, she says, I'm going to lose 5 pounds. The other woman, Joan, she says, I'm going to lose 20, right? So Mary loses exactly 5 pounds, satisfied, she achieved her goal. Now, Mary didn't reach her goal. She didn't lose the 20, but she lost 15 pounds. So the question really is, who was the success and who was the failure, or was there one, right? I don't think there was a failure in either way, but notice that the woman who set lofty goals, even though she didn't reach it, she still achieved more than the woman who set minimal, realistic goals, right? Now, who knows? The one woman who said 5 pounds, if she would have said 20, maybe she would have lost 8. Maybe it was 10. Maybe it was 15. The point is when you set it so low, you set the bar so low, you set yourself up for mediocrity.
Absolutely. And, you have gone through your career and just tried to push and push and push so hard. And I think one thing that is very interesting to me is that you mentioned was about all those little things that add up to get you to a point. And I know Joe and I had a really good discussion about this after you talked about it. Is you say something bad happens in your life, and you say, well, I got unlucky or whatever, but a lot of people don't look back at all the things that led to that. And I thought that was another very interesting point that you made about taking a hard look at reflecting back on what got you there instead of that immediate moment.
Right. So I look at it this way. Every event is neutral until we decide it's a good event or a bad event, a positive or a negative event. An event is going to be based on, how you perceive the event is what's going to matter. So another example of that from real life is, this is a true story. There was 2 women, both had children. One of their sons was killed by a drunk driver, right? So the first woman, she just, went into a depression. She had other children. She was disconnected, basically gave up on life. And who could really blame her, right? Such a tragic event. The other woman had the exact same thing happen to her. And what she chose to do was start MAD, Mothers Against Drunk Driving. So again, the event was neutral, right? It destroyed one woman's life because of the way she chose to deal with it. And again, it's not about blame, right? But the other woman had within her the power to say, you know what, I'm going to make a difference so that other mothers don't suffer the same fate as my son did. And that's true of every situation. You can look at, getting knocked out of a tournament and say, okay, poor me, I never get lucky. Or you can say, you know what can I take away from this? What's my learning? What am I going to do differently next time I'm in the same situation? How am I going to prepare better for the next opportunity? And really, when you look at the most successful people in their life, those are the ones, or in the world, those are the ones who live their life from a responsible place, where they say, I'm responsible for how I handle relating to people, places, and events completely, 100%. It's the victims who say, I'm not responsible for anything that happens to me, and there's nothing I can do about it. There's no power in that. If you can't change your circumstances, then there's nothing you can really, change. So you can just sulk and get pity from people, but it doesn't do anything for you.
Yeah, and obviously you've overcome that so well. And one tweet that I saw that you put out this year, recently, said about how you want to do some bigger things this year. And you're one of the few people in the poker community that has the ability to transcend outside of poker. And you've done so much in TV and philanthropic and so on. What are those big things? What are you looking at to do in 2015 that is going to blow the world away?
Okay, so this is going to require me to be a little bit vulnerable and honest about who I am, and I'm totally open to do that. So, I was always the shortest kid in my school, right? So there was like little insecurities with that. So I've noticed that over the years when I've met other powerful people, whether they're, powerful in their industry, politicians, other famous people, I've always felt a little intimidated and uncomfortable. Like, I don't want to be that guy. I don't want to bother him. I don't want to do that. And realizing later that, sometimes they actually just want to meet me too. But having that like low idea of my own self-worth, in a sense, thinking like, well, why would this guy want to give me 5 minutes? So that's changed a great deal. And what I'm looking to do is now tap in to a networking opportunity with the type of people that can move mountains, right? Mm-hmm. The ones that have the resources, both financially and a reach, where they can make a difference in the world. So one of two ways: either A, by inspiring them to make a difference, right? Whatever way they choose to, and also to work with them to create something for communities and the world as a whole that just will make people better off, right? So I'm at a place in my life, I just turned 40, where I'm looking to make the biggest imprint I can for people.
Any specifics? You got anything that what would you like to see change in the world? What is something that you look at and say, man, I wish I could make an impact here?
Well, there's like a wide spectrum of things. Like the one that comes to mind right now, because it's relevant to me, is Bill Foley is trying to bring an NHL team to Las Vegas. I'm meeting with him on the 16th, as well as about 50 founding members, going over, what needs to happen and all those things. So I'd like to really help kind of in Las Vegas build community. And I think having a sports team, like, especially a hockey team, will bring the city together, and have a common goal. And I think Las Vegas is thirsty for something like that. So that's something in the past I probably wouldn't have been comfortable with, but now I'm very comfortable, in that environment, and really just sort of, maybe even being a part owner if I have, if that's available to me.
I think that would be fantastic. I agree with you. I think one thing with, we're speaking to our Las Vegas audience here, is there doesn't seem to be a lot that ties the community together. It's such a community of people that, didn't grow up there, and everybody comes to Las Vegas. There's so few natives in there. So there's nothing there to really bind it other than everybody going down to the casino.
Well, I think Las Vegas is thirsty for community, and like you said, most people don't grow up in Vegas, so it's like displaced souls, right? So you left Ohio to go to Vegas to start a new life, and you have a lot of people in Las Vegas who live there as locals that are, that end up being a little lonely because they don't have the community or the network, and a lot of it is tourist based. So even for meeting people, if it's dating in the dating world, like who you gonna meet tourists, it doesn't work as well. So I think having more community things like a get-together like hockey is another way to bring together the community in a real positive way.
Well, that sounds good to me. Well, go ahead, Joe.
Daniel, I wanted to ask you a question. When you first came on, you said something about, well, I'm here because I have to be. I'm going to disagree with that, because I've seen you personally during the World Series, while you're playing a tournament, leave your seat, go to the rail, interact with the fans, take pictures with them. And from the media aspect, I think that is so great, because when you say people are thirsty to meet you. They see you on TV, or you're probably the number one ambassador for poker. How are you able to do that, yet stay focused on your tournament game?
Yeah. Well, it's interesting you say, I was joking about the have to. Really, like it's interesting. It's an interesting sort of, drill we did in one of the courses that I took about the difference between have to and choose to. And really, there's nothing that you have to do. Name one thing that you have to do. Do you have to eat? Do you have to eat?
Generally.
No, you don't have to
true.
eat. That's a choice. You choose to eat or what, right? Die. But it's still a choice.
It is a choice.
Breathing.
Right.
Do you have to breathe? No. You're choosing to breathe because you'd rather live than die. So when you break it down, there's no such thing as, do you have to pay taxes? No, you don't have to pay taxes. You could not pay and then run the risk of going to prison and maybe having a friend named Bubba.
Yeah.
Make it comfortable.
Joe knows Bubba.
But as for your question, I've always been a people person. While I'm playing, I'm not spending every hand watching all the action. I get a gist of how people play. So when there's people on the rail, I actually enjoy it. It's a nice distraction. Interact with people, get to know different types of people and stuff like that. So it comes very natural to me.
Well, speaking of coming natural, back in the studio, it's time to play our favorite game on the show, and I hope Daniel is ready for this. We got one more game for you to play before you leave the Bahamas. It's time for the snap call.
Because we like to make our guests squirm.
Okay.
Let's put them through the toughest grind in poker. Get ready, everyone. It's time for the snap call.
Oh, this is so much fun, Daniel. I hope this is going to be just a blast.
Okay.
Okay, very simple. We just ask you a question. We'll give you a few choices. Pick your favorite.
Okay.
Okay, so you have choices here. Whichever direction you feel you need to go at this moment, just let it fly.
Okay.
All right. And Nate's back there, too, so we'll ask a question. Everybody get a chance to answer it. Let's start off with this one. How about moral of the PCA story and with some interesting things that went on here. Nate, I'll fire this one off to you first. As Mark proved in the tournament that he's a damn nit, Sissy Joe's wife cannot be left alone, except at maybe the PCA party, but that could be the worst part. Or no props brought to the studio, especially expensive ones that can be broken. So, Nate, which is the biggest lesson?
Biggest lesson, Sissy can't be left alone.
Sissy can't be left alone. Good. Joe, which one?
I concur. My wife cannot be left alone.
she was a fireball last night. Daniel?
This one's over my head. I forgot the other two.
Just go with Sissy. It's the right answer.
Is it? Okay, we'll go with Sissy then.
Even though we did try to damage the main event trophy.
Okay.
We did try it. New nickname for Daniel Negreanu. You're not a kid anymore. You know that, right?
Based on what? Your perception?
My perception.
Is that
We're
is
just
that a
going
fact
age
or
is
your
a number.
perception?
Age
Let me
is
ask
a
you,
number.
is that a fact or your perception?
I'm just saying.
What's the definition of a kid?
Well, my 6-year-old's a kid.
Okay,
I'm
and
just
so am
saying.
I, because I choose to be, and I always will. 26 for life, yo.
Okay, fair enough. But just in case you want to switch it up, here's the nickname choices. King Poker, so you can keep the K in there. Just the Man Poker, or the undisputed Lord and Master of all he surveys. Joe?
Can I put something else in?
Oh, go ahead, Joe. Go ahead.
Well, only because I'm a big hockey fan, and so is Daniel. Kid hockey. I like that.
Oh,
Kid
he's
hockey.
going kid hockey,
Kid
taking the
hockey,
poker out. Joe, Nate, which one?
King Poker.
King Poker.
Got
Daniel,
one of your choices.
which one do you like there, Daniel?
What was the just Dan the Man? Just the Man?
Just the Man.
Yeah, let's go just the Man.
All right.
You know, kid to man, whatever you want to,
Well, to me, you are the undisputed Lord and Master of all you survey.
Okay.
So, let's see. How about this one? Leap of Faith water slide. We're all familiar with that giant water slide. Everybody sees it on TV. Is it overrated, underrated, or never let Mark on it again? Daniel.
I'm going to say it's underrated.
Joe?
Absolutely underrated. It looks a lot worse than it actually is when you do it.
Nate, you haven't been on it yet, but I'll give you a shot at it anyway.
Well, I'm going to say Mark should wear a helmet when he goes down.
No, that was for the River Rapids, not that. Let's see. How about this one? Top activity on the flight back. We're all going home soon. So top activity on the flight back. Playing some ABC Chinese poker. Sleeping it all off. Or crying as we look over the ocean, saying goodbye to it as we hit the U.S. Dan, you can go first on that one.
I plan on having alcohol tonight, so I'm going to go with sleeping it off.
All right, there you go. Joe?
Well, living in Las Vegas, I don't get to see the beach much, so I'll be crying looking at as we fly away in the beach in the horizon.
And Nate, you're not here, so I'm just going to take it. I will be crying.
I'll be playing ABC Poker.
Yeah, you'll be playing ABC Poker. I'm going to say I'm going to be crying. It's going to be sad coming home. You ran into Dan Heimiller, Dan. So I came up with a Dan Heimiller question. Nate, I'll start with you. What would Dan Heimiller do with the money if he had won the $25K high roller? Got a spot treatment, bet it away on sports, or a new order of winner chicken dinner T-shirts, Nate?
Oh, winner chicken dinner shirts for sure.
Joe?
I think Dan, his new profession now is betting on sporting events. I think he's going to take that money into the sports book.
Daniel?
Well, I will guarantee, as a fact, that he will blow the money betting on sports.
Fair enough. Let's see what else we have here. Oh, yeah. We had our 600th show down here. Unfortunately, I missed you on that, but what should we do on the 700th show to top the 600th show? Mark in a tank of sharks, Mark lit on fire, or just show the video of Mark going down the water slide over and over for an hour? Nate.
Set Mark on fire.
Oh, jeez, how did I know that was coming? Joe.
Absolutely, the water slide and the reported tsunami after you landed.
That's so harsh.
Okay, I'd like to say all three options are absolutely awful.
Yeah.
So might as well throw them to the Sharks.
Okay. Well, I'm glad everybody just wants to see bad things happen to me all over the place. It's all good. Best feature of the PCA this year, the breakfast with the pros, the TV shows and live streams, or the PCA party last night. Nate.
The live streams.
Because Nate's not here. Joe?
I would say the live streams because you can kind of get a feel for what's going on as opposed to, going to Poker News and just reading the updates. Live stream.
Daniel.
Well, this one's really easy for me. I put my heart and soul into it, so I'm going to say the breakfasts with the Q&A with the pros because I really enjoyed it, and I want to do more of that sort of thing and really connect with people. And, it was really heartwarming to see that people like that not even play poker got something out of it, and that was my goal. I wanted it to be sort of, within the framework of poker, but really relate to life as a whole.
Yeah, it was awesome. So I really enjoyed those. We should see those at the World Series this year, too. Let's see. I have one more here. I can fire. Oh, favorite celebrity that attended the PCA? Ronaldo, Jason Alexander, or Tito Ortiz? Nate?
Tito Ortiz.
Tito Ortiz was killing people on the beach, by the way, with that beach thing. Joe, who's your favorite?
Jason Alexander, big fan of Seinfeld.
You know all these guys, Daniel. Which one?
Yeah, well, I mean, I know you're not supposed to go off the board, but I was like, how is Sergio Garcia's name not on there? I really got along with Sergio. We had a few drinks and stuff, but based on the fact that I'm going to go within the rules, I'll go with another good guy, Tito Ortiz.
Yeah, and he really put everybody through a workout, by the way. He was not messing around down on that beach.
How did you do in that workout?
I skipped it completely.
What do you know?
Sorry. See, Daniel's making me feel bad already. I swear to God, I got to hang out with you more, though. It's all good. All right, so there's
Keeping it real.
Yeah, there you go. There's your snap call, everybody. Daniel, thank you for playing that. You survived it, right?
I did okay.
You did all right.
Yeah, I was confused as hell when we started, but by the end of it, I'm like, I get this.
Yeah, the first one was a little rough.
The first one was like, who, what, when, how?
All right, we're going to take our last commercial break on the show, and we'll be back. Daniel, you stick around, or you have another obligation to do? We've got about 15 minutes.
Rez says I got something to do, right?
Okay.
The boss tells me, pull the hook.
Awesome. Well, Daniel, thank you so much for coming over. It's always a pleasure. And I want to see you back in Vegas, man.
Okay, man.
I would be remiss if I didn't ask Daniel this question because as a big hockey fan, how many hockey jerseys do you actually own?
I want to say anywhere between 50 and 60.
Wow.
Yeah.
So double the amount of teams that are in the league, basically.
Yeah. A lot of the players were giving me, they send me signed ones and stuff like that. So I have double ups on Leafs and a few other teams.
And I don't see you wearing them much anymore. You used to wear them a lot when you played.
Yeah, I think there's a rule. Like after 30, Charles Barkley said you're not supposed to wear jerseys anymore. You dress up like and be an adult. So.
But you're still a kid, though.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so.
You can be a kid, but still dress super suave and Rico.
There you go.
Daniel, thank you very much. It was a pleasure having you on.
Yeah, thanks, Daniel. Appreciate it.
Take care.
Daniel Negreanu here on KLAV 1230 AM on the Mark Hoke Show. Always fun to have Kid Poker stopping by. And, one of the incredible guys in the game. We do appreciate him taking the time out to stop over. All right, let's take our last commercial break, and we'll come back and wrap the show up and wrap up our trip here at the PCA. So stick around, everybody. We'll be right back.
Hi everyone, Mark here. If you're a poker player like me and looking for something different and exciting to play, you should give open-faced Chinese poker a shot. It has just the right mix of skill, luck, plus a huge dose of the fun factor we're all looking for. There's a reason open-faced Chinese poker has everyone from the recreational player to the top pros hooked on its thrills, action, and unique social interactions you won't find in Hold'em. An incredible game like this has got to be worth checking out. And it's easy to learn, especially by using the ABC Chinese Poker app. Download the ABC Chinese Poker app on iTunes today and find out what everyone's talking about. And if you have questions about the game, tweet at ABC Chinese Poker and they'll be glad to help you along. So join the open-faced Chinese poker community today with the ABC Chinese Poker app, and we'll see you at the tables.
The
Nevada poker players, it's time to get in the game with the Nevada Poker League. Play for free to win cash at every location, plus you also can win poker cruises and even a $10,000 World Series of Poker main event seat. It's a great way to play poker at no risk, make new friends, and build up your poker bankroll. The Nevada Poker League is never closed and is running games 7 days a week at a location near you. So what are you waiting for? Visit the NevadaPokerLeague.com right now for all the info. Don't wait. Play poker for free and cash in today with your friends at the Nevada Poker League.
There's nothing better than sitting down to play poker with good friends at Cunning Lose. And that's what you're going to find when you tune in to Poker Night in America. Poker Night in America is revolutionizing televised poker in a big way with all the action you love and the hilarious fun you've been missing. Come take a seat at the table with all your favorite players, old and new, with Poker Night in America. Mondays, 10 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Pacific on CBS Sports Network. And don't forget to visit the show online at PokerNight.com. So pull up a chair and join us Mondays on Poker Night in America.
It's time for you to check out RogueWire.com. News, sports, entertainment, and the internet home of The Mark Hoke Show. Don't wait. Let the sparks fly from your computer at RogueWire.com. And, of course, RogueWire.com is powered by BlueRail.net. For over 2 years, The Mark Hoke Show has trusted BlueRail.net as their exclusive host, and you can too. Visit BlueRail.net for top-level web hosting, website building and maintenance, one-on-one customer service, and much more. It's time to get on board with your winning combination, BlueRail.net and RogueWire.com. How far do you want to go?
Join us for Zen Poker Mentoring's debut poker coaching event featuring poker superstar instructors Brian Rash and Vanessa Russo, plus poker reporter to poker pro Christy Arnett. For unique poker mentoring you'll be able to use on and off the field. The event will be held February 21st and 22nd at the spectacular Meet Las Vegas Event Center across from the D Las Vegas Hotel and Casino, downtown. The first 15 people who register get a free 2-night stay at the D. Not to mention, Zen Poker Mentoring is giving away a $565 seat for the newest and most exciting event in poker, the Colossus. For more information, visit ZenPokerMentoring.com and sign up for this one-of-a-kind event today.
Want more of The Mark Hoke Show? Then follow us on Twitter at Mark Hoke Show and like our Facebook page at The Mark Hoke Show for show news and outstanding poker content from around the world. Plus, enjoy the show anytime by subscribing to our podcasts on iTunes or at markhokeshow.podbean.com. We're even on your mobile phone at markhokeshow.podbean.com/mobile. Thanks for listening and being a part of The Mark Hoke Show.
Now, let's return to The Mark Hoke Show. The Mark Hoke Show. Here again, your host, Mark Hoke.
Hey, Daniel Negreanu was just on the show, by the way.
That's who that was?
That's who that was.
I will tell you this. I'm not sure where this is on your bucket list, but having George Danza and Daniel Negreanu on the same show, that's pretty high on your bucket list.
That's raising the bar up.
Yeah.
That's not bad.
Yeah, that was fantastic.
Pretty two solid guests.
Yeah, and I before we kind of get into wrapping it up, I think it's interesting that you hear Daniel talk, and it's just so inspiring to see how he approaches life and how he approaches his career. I mean, Nate, there's so much that anybody could learn just listening to Daniel talk for 20 minutes like he did. I mean, it was amazing.
Absolutely, and he's done so much in poker. He did just get nominated into the Hall of Fame, but he's done so much for poker, whether it be online poker, live poker. He's just always been one of the greatest ambassadors that we've had since he's came onto the field. And
he's still got a long way to go, too.
Because he's still a kid.
Yeah, he's still a kid.
Even though you're trying to age him.
Well, no, I just thought, maybe you might want to update the nickname a little bit.
About a year ago, there was a fake post that said he was in a single car accident and killed.
Oh,
and
that's horrible.
Well, that's why you don't believe what you read on posts sometimes. Pretty bad.
Know, right?
Well, let's. I want to take a real quick. If you guys are not watching the live stream, once we're off the air, feel free to do so. But otherwise, you are transfixed to your radio dials and your internets and everything.
You can see two ugly bookmarks surrounding Daniel Negreanu.
Yeah. We are heads up right now for the main event championship here at the PCA. It is American Kevin Schulz who is out in front, and he took a nice lead and hasn't let it go. He's at $15.5 million. Diego Ventura trying to chase him down. And Ventura, there was actually one blind level where those guys flipped the lead, flipped 3 times. There were 4 players at the table. Ventura was the only one that didn't have the lead. And now here he sits heads up trying to win that championship.
He's got more than 50% of the chips. There's only 24 in play, right? And he's got 15 now.
And Ventura was all in with queen 10 versus queen 7 of Schultz and doubled through. And he was short stack at the table then.
Yeah, and Chance Cornuth finishing 3rd, so unfortunately Chance comes up short, but congratulations to him. High roller going on down to 7. Ilkin Garabili is your leader in that one. Joe Kuther, Scott Seaver, and Nick Petrangelo still alive in that one. Faraz Jaka went out in 7th. Dan Heimiller in 8th. So I apologize. 6 left in that one.
Our boy Dan.
Yeah. So Dan Heimiller, nice run. Nice run for him.
Yeah, Daniel Legrand got a little bit of an issue with Heimiller. Huh?
Well, they bumped into each other. That was a pretty
literally.
It was a pretty crazy hand there.
Aces against Ace King.
Yep. And, and I just want to take a couple minutes since we have some time here to reflect on, the trip to the PCA here. And
reflection time.
Joe, what your thoughts about coming down to this series?
First time here, and hopefully there'll be many more. I thoroughly enjoyed it. We were treated like kings. And I tip my hat to the PokerStars media staff and just the PokerStars in general. I mean, they just run a first-class operation.
Yeah, I mean, this series to me, and, you hear about it, and everybody says, I want to go to that someday, I want to go to it someday. Well, now we know why.
Yes.
The little touches, like the extra monitors with the graphics, having the TV sets for both shows, Shark Cage and, the live stream, which, they use for all of that setup. The Breakfast with the Pros seminars were outstanding. Yeah, I mean, that's a chance for everybody to interact with some of the greatest pros in the world and learn so much. I learned a lot every day from coming down and listening to those.
They did not leave much undiscovered, so to speak.
No, and the staff down here, top notch. This is why PokerStars really is considered the #1 poker company in the world, and they showed it here from the dealers, the tournament staff, the people that were working the event, the PR team, everybody. And I want to make sure that we thank Rebecca and Scott for being sensational hosts,
top to bottom.
I mean, that's why I know they didn't want to come on the show, but
they're a little gun shy.
Rebecca's been on my show before, so she shouldn't have been shy.
Well, she's actually in the middle of doing something.
Yeah, but it's all good.
Busy, but we do thank them very, very much.
They have been just wonderful, and I got to tell you, we've been doing a lot of live events here, with the show, and we've gotten to go to a few of them, and the treatment that we got. I mean, helping us get guests, sending the PokerStars pros over. We had so many of those on our shows that are up on YouTube. It was just an amazing time, and I did the water slide.
You did.
I did that water slide.
That video should be up shortly on Facebook. We'll actually tag you and put it on your. You want it on your Mark Hoke Facebook?
Sure, that's fine. Yeah, wherever you want to put it, I'll see it.
Yeah.
So
they're still filling the pool back up. By the way, you knocked so much water out of it.
Nate, do you hear this? This is terrible.
It's not terrible, Nate. They brought the fire hoses over after Mark landed.
Come on. What did they airlift in some water too? Did they drop some crates?
There was a pretty big splash when you came to the bottom.
Oh my God!
You're not going to deny that, are you?
Oh God! I don't know. I didn't see it. My eyes were closed. I just did a 120-foot drop.
Did you completely do the whole ride with your eyes closed?
No, actually, most of the way down, and then when I got close to the water, I closed up, so I didn't get the chlorine.
But you really, you go through that tube where the sharks kind of swim above and below you, and
that was cool too.
You go so fast though, you really don't see anything. It's just a blue blur.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to tell you that if you have a chance to come down to this event, it is pricey to come down here and stay and do everything, but you will never regret it. Yes. And once again, thank you, PokerStars, for having us down here. We do appreciate it, and hopefully we'll be back next year with the Mark Hoke Show. And of course, we'll be back in Las Vegas. We'll be on KLAV 12:30 a.m.
We have our fingers crossed
on Wednesday.
Back
down at Seminole Hard Rock coming up the 22nd through February 11th. We'll be doing some work down there, blogging and doing some shows. Should be a lot of fun. So we do appreciate it. Make sure you check us out, markhokeshow.com. Follow us on Facebook at The Mark Hoke Show, Twitter at Mark Hoke Show. And we do appreciate all of you tuning in, you guys. Thank you so much, and we will see you next time on The Mark Hoke Show. Have a great afternoon, everybody.